Okay, hi, I'm Craig and welcome to Is This News. Okay, the first video we've got is basically a bunch of guys, YouTubers, watching some old, kind of the first YouTube, things that came on and reacting to it and talking about it. And basically, it's you watching people watching YouTube, and it's like a 15-minute video. They're not interesting enough to make it worthwhile. It's kind of, I get the idea. It's quite a good idea, but it would be much better if you just literally showed these old videos and then maybe kind of what's going on next, and then they start going on to, skip through it. They start waxing lyrical about back in the old days. Well, not like that because they're American, but back in the old days it was so much better, and as if it was, kind of in the fine grand old days where it was all for the art and stuff, and now it's all commercial and stuff, and it's just cliche, dull, uninteresting stuff. I wouldn't really bother with it. There's nothing to recommend about it at all. Just skip over it. Okay, the next one is it's an advert. It's just basically an advert for an airline, kind of for ice cream really. I guess the reason it's had so many hits is because it's got Lionel Messi and Kobe Bryant in it, and there's this little kid goes on, tries to get Lionel Messi's autograph on a football, and Kobe Bryant starts to kind of compete with him, and it's these, you've got a top basketball player and a top football or soccer player kind of competing for the attentions. And the only thing it kind of shows up is that football is much cooler than basketball. All Kobe kind of does is spins the ball on his finger to show how cool and impressive he is, whereas Messi is kind of doing some tricks with the ball. And you'd actually kind of rather see, and they then start kind of playing cards and stuff, which is really beside the point. You kind of want to just see Messi just kind of doing some cool stuff with the ball. It's all right, it's just a little bit random. It's just kind of an advert. Yeah, that's it. Okay, the next one is the trailer for the new Star Trek movie. It looks pretty good. J.J. Abrams did kind of reinvent the Star Trek films. I'm a bit of a geek. I've never been a Star Trek fan. Star Trek's pretty cheesy and camp and tacky. What's quite good that he did with his kind of rebranding of it, he kind of kept. He didn't kind of feel the need to really kind of style it up, make it cool, give them all kind of six packs and pecs in the new costumes. He kept it fairly similar, but just kind of styled it up, had more interesting action, had decent, kind of a decent plot running through it. This one looks like it's kind of more of the same, hopefully a bit more developed. They've now got Cumberbatch in it as obviously kind of the RP villain coming through. I guess it's, I get the impression they're going for the whole Wrath of Khan sequel thing, which is known to be this great sequel in the pantheon of the Star Trek universe. It looks good. As I say, I'm not a fan, but it's kind of watching it, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind checking that out. And the visuals seem to kind of work with these kind of striking, kind of odd, jarring colours. He seems to have kind of got it right, so I imagine it's going to be a pretty big success. It's worth a watch. There'll be more trailers coming out, I would imagine, that will show even more. It all depends if you want to see any more of it or just kind of this little teaser. But it looks good, and also what looks quite cool is, looks like there's just a little shot of old Peggy, Simon Pegg, looks like he's doing a little bit of emotional, kind of, caressing someone, a bit of emotional acting in it. Don't know whether that'll come through, but let's see. We all like Peg. Now, finally, is a bit of an oddity. It's you start watching it and you're kind of going, am I watching this? Am I seeing it? Basically, it's John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John reunited for a Christmas song that's clearly about the troops coming back home. What's great is every time the shot's on them, which it starts on them mostly, there's a bit of production value. As soon as it cuts to anyone else, it's clearly some dude with a camcorder in just like in an airport, and that's it. The quality drops. There's loads of random old people, random kids that are chucked in, and it keeps then cutting back to them. Travolta's just his hair, it's his sprayed on hair, he's looking more and more obscure. I really like John Travolta, but he's just looking really obscure. And I've got to say, if there's ever been any question about his sexuality, this puts the whole thing to bed. It is so camp. Alright, it's Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, doing, hey, let's come home for Christmas, but it's so camp, it's so gay. It's not quite, I mean, all the way through you're kind of thinking, are they taking the piss? Are they serious? No, no, it is kind of serious. It's just very cheesy, quite camp, not quite camp enough for it to really kind of warrant the amount of hits. It's quite interesting, it's quite amusing. I'd advise you have a look at it and just analyse his kind of weirdness at the end. He's got these sunglasses and this very kind of cheesy pulling away. He looks a bit like a fat Michael Jackson. Probably post-death as well. He's kind of becoming quite obscure. So yeah, I'd suggest check that one out. Maybe not watch the whole video, just skip through it. It's worth a look. Okay, well that's all for this week. Subscribe to the channel above and check out everything below, and I'd like to hear your opinions. Great, let's more next time.